All right, Unity Politics fans, welcome back. My name is Dave, and this is Unity Politics. I promise I'm not going to change the name of the channel again. Coronavirus sinks GOP governors in hard-hit states. This is from Axios. Do you approve of the way your governor is handling your state's response to corona? Now, I want to be clear about a couple of things. I have some very strong opinions about this issue, and I'm only going to say what I can say without getting, blacklisted or banned or censored or demonetized, which it might happen anyway. I think we are being told some things that aren't true. I posted a video on here yesterday, straight up video of someone else, not me. You can watch. This is a medical doctor who is very concerned about what we are doing when it comes to vaccines, for instance. This is a narrative. This is a narrative that basically says, if you don't lock down and if you don't wear your mask, then you're causing some serious problems. Now, I don't know how a society can function. Now, there is a way a society can function temporarily, but we've already gone over that. We've already been down that road. We need to start to reopen the country. And we need to do it because we need to survive as a species. Children need to be around other children. We need to, believe it or not, I know this is going to sound crazy to some, but it's a risk we have to take. Now, from a political standpoint, supposedly Republican governors, because they have been more apt to try to keep the economy alive. And this, by the way, feeds into that conspiracy that this is all designed to take President Trump down. Okay, President Trump, I think he's out of gas. He's out of ammunition. I don't think he has the political will to keep going. He just turned, 74 years old. I think if this didn't all happen this year, he may have won re-election, and then he still would have been tortured for the next 4 years. Whether you like Trump or not, and this is what Unity Politics is about, torturing Trump and his supporters is not a way to win friends and influence people. All right, so this article, if you read it, it has a graph. And by the way, somebody pointed out to me, well, how do you know that people aren't more angry about the lockdowns? I'm in Florida, so I'm in one of those states that really disapproves, 58-40. But since May 11th, things have continued to lock down more and more, and people are getting tired of it. People don't want to wear a face diaper, okay? They don't want to do it. Look, this is a firsthand experience that I've had. I resisted this week because all of the retailers, by the way, the retailers are now the government, okay? And this is why I'm drifting more and more libertarian, because now you've got retailers who are setting policy that the government should set, and votes should be taken on these policies. And I'm a constituent of my local state rep, state senator, congressional representative, and I would like to tell them, hey, this is something that I want to do or that I don't want to do, or I think you should vote for or you should not vote for. That's how basically this should be handled. It should be democracy instead of a corporatocracy, which this is what it's looking like more and more. Every day you wake up and you're like, oh, corporations, Amazon is setting policy. You wake up and you think to yourself, why are military contractors a bigger deal? Why are they people that we need to continue to fund? And why do we keep giving larger contracts when we should be ramping down the war machine? Again, more libertarianism for you. Look, whether I was in the closet on being a libertarian or not, I've been at one time I was a member of Campaign for Liberty. That was Ron Paul's offshoot organization, and quite forward-thinking, and definitely not anti-government, but anti-corporations mixing with government to create this partnership, which it's really hard to go up against. So your local retailer, whether it's Publix or Walmart or whoever it is, basically calling the shots and telling you, yes, you have to do this. You have to wear this. Even, and I've seen cases where there was one kid who has autism trying to go to a theme park and so forth. Again, Disney, another giant corporation, both through media and through their actual brick and mortar facilities where they're setting all kinds of policy. And then when people see that, that sets a precedent, and then they have to kind of follow in lockstep with that. That to me is really dangerous, because these are unelected people who are making decisions for everyone else. I'm not into it. That's central planning. I'm not into it. That's why I kind of gravitated away from the Green Party, because what they're talking about is a lot of central planning. Now, they'll say, oh, it's community-based. It's still central planning. It's still central planning. I want to have a vote, and not just necessarily in a little small group of strange people. I want everybody to be a part of the decision-making process. So it actually makes sense. And, if you're in a minority viewpoint, this is the difference between a democracy and a republic. Your viewpoint still matters. You still need to be represented by people out there. And I understand people think this is the worst public health crisis we've ever faced as a country, as a planet. Environmentalists would laugh at that and say, no, it's called climate change. I don't know if I agree with that or not, but that would be one instance where that could be challenged quite easily. Nuclear proliferation, something George W. Bush, a phrase he couldn't actually pronounce. That is something that is certainly, what's the doomsday clock at like 2 minutes to midnight? That's pretty bad. The fact that we're raising illiterate people, that's a crisis. I don't care. It's not a health crisis, and it's not where people are going to die the next day or whatever. But we are raising some fairly incoherent people who don't know the Bill of Rights, who can't name the 3 branches of government, who don't understand, that you have a local representative and it's not just the President of the United States. This is the other issue, that your local government is very important. And I've said this in other videos. Donald Trump is not the be-all, end-all when it comes to politics. At the very least, your governor is somebody you need to pay attention to. Your state rep, your state senator, and your congressperson, okay? And there are other people in your county, county commissioners. We can go down, school board members. I'm constantly in contact with a school board member, and she helps set policy for the schools. It's very important that you get involved in those areas and make your voice known. So this whole response to the coronavirus, based on the fact that, these guys aren't locking down enough, and we need to make sure we call them out for not locking down enough, this scares the crap out of me. It really does. Because to me, I'm willing to take the risk. And I know that sounds irresponsible. Yes, I'm willing to send my kids to school. Based on the data that's out there, who this affects the most. All right, and I know I'm taking a chance, but I'm taking a chance every day by going outside, by driving a car, by doing anything. You take a chance. And the data on coronavirus has not been consistent at all. Anybody who has looked at this day after day and studied it like I have, you realize that nobody really knows what they're talking about, at the very least. Regardless of where you fall when it comes to wearing the face diaper, as I like to call it. And I'm shaming it. I am shaming it. It's something that people shouldn't want to do. And now everybody's just like zombies. When I see people walking around in fresh air and sunshine wearing one of these things, and you're seeing it more and more where I am, because Florida, hey, you've got 100-degree heat almost every day. You've got, a nice wind coming in off the Gulf of Mexico or off the Atlantic, depending on which coast you're on. And yet people are going to go outside with a diaper on their face. I just don't get it. So, yeah, is it bad? It's funny how they highlight just, these Republican states. And I'm not defending Republicans, but again, this is the tribalism that we need to get away from. Hence, I'm leaning way more now to voting for Joe Jorgensen for president. At the very least, I'm making a huge statement, and we need to build another movement. And I've been consistent, whether it was Tulsi Gabbard or Howie Hawkins. I've landed on Joe Jorgensen. I still have issues with her, but I have fewer issues with her than anybody else running for president right now. And, President Trump, is he better than Biden? Yeah. If you're not going to vote for, here's my advice. If you're not going to vote for a Libertarian or a Green Party, and again, you can vote the Green Party ahead of Trump, for instance. Problem is ballot access and the seriousness of that candidate. See, I've been hearing through the grapevine that Joe Jorgensen is going to really hit hard with media like you've never seen in the Libertarian Party. So I'm looking forward to that because I would love to see an alternative viewpoint because most Americans don't even know there's another choice. And I think once you get to the point where people hear about it, they're going to say, oh, thank goodness, because these two people, both men who are well into their 70s, Biden approaching 80, and having serious cognitive problems. Trump, I'm thinking Trump doesn't want to do this anymore. He'll go through the motions, but I don't think he really wants to be president anymore. I think he's tired of being destroyed each day. And Donald Trump will earn a very handsome living not being a politician anymore. And his family will do quite well. And by the way, that doesn't mean his kids might not enter politics, because they probably will. And I think you need somebody younger and fresher, somebody who I think is a better public speaker than Donald Trump, and who isn't going to say things like, it's too bad we can't put bleach in our system to kill coronavirus, and a number of other things when it comes to empathy and sort of just relating to people at a human level. We've never had a president that's been this rough around the edges, at least since I've been alive, and I'm sure prior to this, there were probably a lot of presidents who were rough and tumble, but in this day and age where people are more sensitive than they are knowledgeable, you need somebody who can empathize. That is why Tulsi Gabbard would have been a great candidate if she had been the nominee for the Democrats, but not even really close to getting the nomination. So I guess for Tulsi fans, you've got to at least wait until 2024. For now, you have Joe Jorgensen. So take a look at Joe. All right, so I'm done with this video. Not going to be too long on this. I just think that there's more to this survey than meets the eye. And if people are just mad at their elected officials, like they're going to fix coronavirus, number one, what is there to fix? Seriously, compared to other things that we've battled, what is there to fix? This is mostly a media-generated frenzy. And they need to provide some data like how many cases have recovered. How many cases are there currently? Instead of the running tally from the very beginning. They need to get rid of the running tally and just say how many active cases are there? How many recoveries have there been? That sort of thing. But you'll never see it. It's nowhere to be found. All right, I'm done. You know, if you'd like to support the channel, I haven't said this in a while, Patreon, best way to do it, there's a logo for Patreon, which is attached to my other YouTube channel. You click on that. If you donate $1 a month or whatever, just tell me that you're from the Unity Politics channel, and I will be glad to have conversations. If you've got ideas for videos or you just want to give me a shout out over there and communicate something in a civil way, I will be more than happy to engage. All right, until next time, I'm Dave, and I'll see you then.